I am Bill Kanda, Chairman of the Board of Custer County Commissioners. Today is Wednesday, July 29th, 2026. Time now is 9:01. I'll call this meeting to order. Please silence your cell phones if you've got them. I need to do it.
Yeah, me too.
Now holster your cell phones and stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, please join me for the invocation. Dear Lord, we just come before you and we ask for your wisdom in dealing with all of the things that are coming at us, from fires to floods to staffing to citizens. Lord, we just ask that you would help us be there for them in the way that they need us to be there, that we will work together for the good of this county. I just ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Lucas. Roll call, Kelly.
Commissioner Kanda.
Here.
Present.
Commissioner Vogelsong.
Here.
County Attorney Dan Slater.
Here.
BOCC Admin Caitlin Womack and the clerk to the board of Philly Camper present.
Okay, thank you. Okay, audience introduction. Let's start at the back with Sheriff.
Robert Smith, Custer County Sheriff. Neil Tyler.
Bill Ditto, Custer County Sheriff.
Robert Smith, Human Resources Management.
Elena Crawford, Director of Planning and Design, Virginia Sheriff.
James Gilbert.
Anybody mind?
Rob.
Thank you, guys. Okay, any amendments, Lucas?
Yes, I want to add executive session to the end. Title will be determining positions and development of strategy for negotiations and instructing negotiators regarding pending litigation per 24-6-402 paren 4 Colorado Revised Statutes.
Okay.
And then the approval of the DOLA Emergency Recovery Funding Grant request. I want to move that to next week into a special meeting, probably on Wednesdays. I have not had time to dive into that with Randy Sneed and go through that. So it's under unfinished business.
We're gonna move that to next week, or not next week, it'd have to be.
Yeah, next week.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
You said Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Paul, I've got an item also. Do you have anything first?
No, I don't
I
have.
have an item I would like to consider moving forward. I know the sheriff has a meeting at 10 with the, where is it, Rich, down?
In Cutler, it's 11.
Yeah, leave here by 10. So I would like to move him up behind, in front of the lot line adjustments, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do that and get him on the road.
Okay.
So we're going to move consideration of the pay raise, consideration of posse purchase, approval of hiring cops, hiring grant, and the approval to apply Homeland Security grant for fire mitigation. We'll move all those in order that they are
Up above.
up underneath accounts payable.
Very good.
Okay, anything else amendment wise? Okay, minutes. I move that we approve the minutes of July 15, July 21st, special meeting that we had.
I'll second that.
Okay, and it's been moved and seconded. Any other comments? I didn't see anything.
No.
Okay, thank you. I'll call for that vote. All in favor of approving the minutes, July 15 and July 21st, say aye. Paul.
Aye.
Lucas.
Aye.
And aye. Okay. Commissioner items, and I'm going to just say a couple things first, and each of us will. I wanted to thank this county. We had 180, or no, we had 85 volunteers from all walks of life, from Kansas, other states, and this community to bag sand. We bag sand for what's happening today and yesterday, for floods that follow a fire and in this case, finally God took a hold and took care of that fire and helped us a bunch, but he helped us get in trouble too. by causing that flood. 85 citizens, and it included some kids too, out there bagging sand. And we hauled the sand down there it started on Sunday afternoon, and we finished hauling it down there Monday and Tuesday. We personally did it, and so did some of the other volunteers in the county. Can't name them all. It was amazing. Also, I want to thank all the firefighters and all the volunteers that have helped there. It's been significant. This has been the second biggest fire in the state of Colorado ever in terms of damage to structures and land mass. We have, what are we, 100 and something thousand now, right at it. And the worst fire up north was about 120,000, I think it was. So you think about how the magnitude is amazing. And we were able to stop it and turn it down here, but it started to come back around Greenhorn and Deer Peak, and we were worried about it getting even worse. We were down there, and the citizens of Beulah and Aspen Acres and San Isabel are amazing, because they're walking around and telling us, as we asking them, what can we do to help? They're saying, well, my dad bought this place in 1950. We bought it built in 57, been coming here for years, had everything in there, and it's gone. We had a guy closing on a house on Friday of the Monday that the fire started. He canceled the insurance because it was going to close and didn't want to pay it because it was closing on Friday. Lost everything. Didn't get anything insured. Another insurance case where a guy walked out of the law right as the fire started. The guy said, well, I'm not going to close anyway. So they couldn't close, but at least he had insurance. We had a sheriff's deputy lose everything. We've had other people. It's just amazing. And they all have compassion, and there's no deaths yet that we can record or discover. We've had not any significant injuries, and we haven't had any looting. There was a case of maybe somebody jacking around with a safe or something that they saw somewhere. But other than that, we had the people are responding admirably and honorably. I wanted to thank everybody for their help. It's key. In the meantime, it also taught us a lot of things. We've restructured the road and bridge. I'll make that announcement too. We're going to talk about that today and certify an acting road boss right now. And we're restructuring the department so that we can do a better job of covering the territory better than we had before. The Sweatmore facility will be a satellite facility that'll be manned, not manned permanently 24 hours a day, but we'll be able to position things down there. I talked to Jeremiah, maybe putting an engine down there at some point to help. We got to start communicating better and working together as taxing districts together, and volunteer districts like the Wetmore Fire and the Wet Mountain Fire and the Florence Fire and those kinds of things, as well as the sheriff's departments and the other departments that all come together in an emergency. We had an OEM that brand new, first day on the job. He's the acting boss, the boss out there directing traffic and getting things coordinated. He's done an amazing job. Thank heavens for his training as a warrant officer in the Army that had no problem with the leadership role and has gone through many emergencies in military combat situations. So he stood the pressure, and you could tell he had experience. But I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that things have happened, to include last night, and you know the flood, what it did. It caused flooding, and of course, the roads we all love and cherish got hammered, like Copper Gulch. And in fact, so did Wetmore. But we got a call from Wetmore. They needed somebody down there right away. And so Scott Camper took down last night Chuck Salamino and Chuck Richard and Duckett Creek Road to finish trimming the trees. So they did all that. And what's more important was this. Got to get down here, skewed it up on me. He took Dan Gasper and Pat Hines down to Wetmore and got home at 11 o'clock last night. They took a blade down because they had a call worrying about the creek that goes through there, taking out the bridge, and got down there. And luckily the stuff had freed itself, and some of the people in Wetmore actually went out and pulled some of the stuff out ahead of time. But he went down there and he inspected all the roads, and he found out there's a lot of roads that are in bad shape now, all the roads north and up to Bill Donnelly's place and on. So we're going to go down there right after this meeting, and we're going to take a look at them and understand what the priority ought to be and how we're going to handle it. along with the OEM, working with the fire resources that we might be able to be reimbursed for, hopefully, maybe not. And working to try potentially working with local contracting, like Ed Lyons, Seifert, and others that may contract to help build a part of the road while we're doing part of the road up here. So we got to figure ways to more efficiently do it with the funds that we have as well as the emergency. So we'll be working on that. So the job's not done. Sandbags, according to Paul just now, I got a report of the trailers up there. The water's this high at San Isabel on the bottom of the deal. The trailers are getting flooded. They took the sandbags that we had, which was several tons, by the way. It's probably 16, 20 tons of sandbags that we had down there, stationed both at the Aspen Acres exit as well as San Isabel. So thanks to everybody, people that came and they had a good attitude as they picked up their sandbags, and they wanted to thank us, and they asked us if they owed it. Think of that. So anyway, congratulations to the county for weathering the storm, and we weathered it as well as been better than most. Pueblo still has a problem, and they are still dealing with catching up on their roads too. So that's the little comment I want to make up front. You want to add anything?
No, I just want to also include into all those thanks. I won't reiterate those all, but every single one of our staff
Yes.
that works for the county has stepped in some way, shape, or form across the board to affect this response and recovery, the information gathering, helping out at the DAC and the evacuation center. So just want to put
Yeah.
thanks to them because they've done a lot as well. So
Many of the staff and volunteers for animal control. But it's been amazing. Paul, you got anything?
Yeah, I was gonna add a little bit there about Wetmore. Wetmore, if you're familiar with that, right where the old dairy was, on Greenwood Drive. That road that goes off to the east there has 2 6-foot culverts side by side on 390. And just so happens for that thing gets all the debris from all the way up, even including what is it? It's North Creek, or that area comes down there. So all the debris comes down there. That has breached over that. And that's about 9 foot from the bottom of the creek to the roadway. And it has breached that. If they even know that there's a bridge right there that goes from the community center over to the town. And that usually washes out. It's tethered, but it just gets in line with all the debris and everything. And that's another thing that would happen during this breaching of that area. When it was opened up, that was nice because that is a 6-foot culvert on 2 side by side, had washed itself free. That means all that debris goes right down to the other culverts that is the bridge as you cross the creek there, right at the Baptist church in the town. So that's probably where they were doing most of that at. Just wanted to clarify that. Also, during the bagging, we signed the waiver of liability for on the actual property of Road and Bridge with all of those people. And the one person that he mentioned from Kansas was actually visiting here. He was passing through and just spent the night. Came over and said, "Can I have a shovel? I'll help." It's just, just bunch of people help. Anyway, other than that, when we asked for them to sign the liability, we also asked for phone numbers and emails so we could do it again if we had to. And that may be this coming Saturday, depending on the rain and everything down south. That's about all I have.
Yeah, our local contractors too, the people that help. So thank you, everybody. Okay, we'll move on. Got anything else to add?
no.
Okay.
Nope.
Attorney items.
A couple of things. First of all, I will be out after today until it's 10th. So whenever I'm out, I like to tell everybody, don't screw things up. Rather use more forceful language, but this is a family show. And then with respect to the executive session, I wanted to just say a couple of things so the public would understand. I assured the commissioners commitment to transparency. The open meetings law requires that we have meetings posted 24 hours beforehand, which we do have this meeting posted 24 hours beforehand, and that posting shall include specific agenda information where possible. As I think many people know, this county, like every county, is involved in multiple pieces of litigation at any one time. And we received a settlement offer on one of those pieces of litigation last night at about 4:30, which means that we couldn't theoretically post an agenda item so that we could discuss and respond to that settlement offer at today's meeting within 24 hours. So I don't think it's possible. I mean, I think that we still fall under the statute here. Plus, we won't be making any actual decisions, as we wouldn't make any decisions in any executive session. We're simply instructing negotiators as to where to go from here.
So there'll be no after action.
There would be no action after the executive session.
Okay,
Very good.
good, thanks. Admin, nothing today, Chuck, as we say. Okay, elected official staff report, and we've got Virginia for that.
Miss Virginia.
She got the memo on the color of the uniform today. All missed it too. First time he's ever missed it.
I didn't get the memo.
Okay, anything you want to add?
No.
Virginia?
That's yours.
Thanks.
That's pretty cut and dry.
Okay, for the record, what month is it for?
Me.
Okay, it's current, this is treasurer's report from 5/1 through 5/31, so we haven't. This is gonna be different because it's before the fire and it's before a lot of things that have happened, so. As we go through the next, and we've been talking about that budget wise, things are gonna think, it looks pretty good initially, but now we're gonna be digging deep into the pockets after this.
Mhm.
And so this particular one is for the balance of the general, the whole balance would be $11,951,282. Should say, let me start over, $11,951,282.53. And the balance after the expenses is $10,053,337.10. Anything sticking out on you guys?
No, not yet. Dude.
And everything's running fine in this, all's above water, no issues that I see
So far.
so far.
Don't miss
Yeah.
your turmoil.
Yeah, right. Comments?
No,
That's it.
You good?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, hearing none, then I will call for the vote to approve the monthly treasurer's report ending 5/31/2026, balance of $10,053,331,700. This is a motion.
Okay, so
Okay, we didn't say motion.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. I was gonna tap it. Okay.
I move that we accept that
As a motion.
as reported. You gotta need a second.
Also.
Any other discussion?
no,
Yeah, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of approving the monthly report for the month of May as stated, say aye, Paul.
Aye.
Lucas. Aye. Kanda, aye. Thank you,
You
Virginia.
Sign that.
And just for a note, that's pretty good. We're running mid-month, mid-year here. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Just begin.
Collection's almost done though.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, next item is unfinished business. We moved Ola out of here, and the next one is landfill fees for slash and deadfall. So, Mr. Landfill, you want to take that?
Well, we discussed the, because it was on fees and everything, we had believe we have moved that if we not do another meeting, a workshop.
The landfill fees for the slash and deadfall
Right.
here.
Is that what we did? We moved that to a workshop, didn't we?
We had a workshop yesterday.
That was yesterday.
But we did not have,
We did not make a decision because that's a workshop.
That's a workshop. So
Now it's time to
now it's
make the
time
decision.
to say what we're gonna do.
okay, so at that workshop, we did not discuss moving any fees, and this was.
Okay, I'll make the
You bet.
motion that we take landfill fees for slash and deadfall from $10 per cubic yard to $5 per cubic yard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll second. That's what I needed. I didn't have my notes. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a discussion we had. And did you second?
I did.
So it's been moved and seconded to move the landfill fees from $10 to $5 per slash. And the reason we can't just waive it entirely is because there actually is a cost to the county to do it. And we discussed several ways to do that, and we're gonna look into finalize, figuring out how to do that, so it's more convenient to the consumer, the customer, to bring stuff in and out without getting into the hole or doing other things. So we're looking at different sites, a way to position the chipper, perhaps even saving the chips and letting people bag it later at some other area, to maybe getting I know there's a company in Pueblo that is hauling stuff out of here and making fertilizer for that you buy in Home Depot. And so there's an opportunity maybe even to get that done and get it paid for itself. So we're going to look at those options. But in the meantime, whatever we decide where the fire is going to be is going to be $5.
It was half of what it was.
Half of what it was.
Right.
Also, we're just, since Rich is here, we need to decide, and we were going to talk about it, and I will talk to it right now, that there's a pile that's regulation size in the pit right now that ought to be burned or make burned temporarily until we get another position. So we would like to, and I know that you considered stage 2 for the bottom of the valley, that I would hope includes let's burn that pit. Okay. Especially since the water gotten better.
I'll text you when.
Okay, yeah, and let Jeremiah know, and he can come out and train them on fire and bring a engine over there too, just for Bruins. Oh, Jeremiah, yeah, Jeremiah, you want to comment on that? That'd be okay, wouldn't it?
Yeah, as long as they have someone on site to keep an eye on it and everything. But yeah, if you guys would like to see an engine out there, just let me know and I'll get it set up.
Yeah, it may not be necessary if it stays as what as it is.
And we're thinking, Jeremiah, about doing these things on Monday when it's not open to the public so that we can maintain better eyes on this fire, especially when it gets going.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the only issues I've ever ran into out there, is just somebody to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, as that will happen.
Yep, thank you.
Given the kind of brush that's in there now, it's going to go up in smoke, so to speak, real fast. Okay. So we've had a motion. Any other comments on it here? Public comments online? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote on that. All in favor of moving the fees for slash from $10 to $5. What was it? Bushels?
Per cubic yard.
Cubic yard, I mean.
Right.
All in favor of that, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
And aye, Paul?
Close on.
Okay,
Sorry.
done. Accounts payable, Lucas.
So I'm gonna go through those items over 5,000 through 729. County attorney, general file for legal advice, $6,483. Health insurance, Meritain Health for August payment, $35,292.88. Buildings and grounds, CenturyLink, $8,995.19. That was a double payment. They didn't deposit one of our checks that we sent them in the past. So we've got that corrected now. Hopefully they'll cash this check. So we'll see. Airport, Boneyard Electric, power from pedestal to tank and existing buildings, 6,200. Airport, Mountain Valley Excavating, trenches for utilities, 8,600. District Attorney, District Attorney, Office of the DA, August budget, $12,608.49.
That's for District 11, our district. Right?
Yep. County Patrol, Custer Road and Bridge, fuel and maintenance, $9,729.92. County Coroner to Pikes Peak State College for the scholarship for Mackenzie Creasy and the amount of $5,000. County Coroner, University of Colorado Springs, scholarship for Logan Namath and the amount of $5,000. County Coroner to Wyotech for scholarship for Stephanie Lewis and the amount of $5,000. Road and Bridge corporate billing, road and bridge supplies in the amount of $5,738.32. Road and Bridge Power Motive Corporation, road and bridge repairs, $9,531.54. Child welfare to Rocky Mountain Psychology, in the amount of $5,000. Attainable housing, Three Rocks Engineering and Surveying, subsurface utilities designation on subdivision plat in the amount of $8,190. Attainable housing, Christine Riggs, pre-development concept design and the amount of $5,275. And then our total for AP is $199,320.81.
Okay, I will move that we approve the AP report to the tune of $199,320.81.
Second, definitely.
Okay, it's been moved second. Any comments here?
Question,
Jim, you got a question?
where did the 15,000 scholarships from the corner come from?
From last year's Halloween fundraiser that he held at the Saddle Club.
Specifically for scholarships.
And this was all for the trades. Scholarships, so.
And the reason also to remind everybody, we have a process that we've never had until we've gotten it refined, and that is money in, money out, so we can count for everything, that even if it's gifts. That's why it's not here. Yeah.
Transfers.
Anybody else online? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote on approving the AP report as stated. All in favor, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
Hold on.
Kanda, aye. Okay, up next would be consideration of pay raise for the sheriff's office deputies. Come on up, Rich. Have a seat. Yeah. Look better without the ash all over your pants.
Yeah. I noticed that when I got.
Okay, what's up? What?
So
Things.
we permanently eliminated 2 positions. And using those funds, would like to sprinkle it across the deputy pay line and give everyone raises. So it wouldn't cost the county any money, any extra money than was budgeted for this year or next year.
Okay, that's what the question that I would have is it, you gotta be able to handle it the next year and then thereafter.
Right.
It's
Okay,
every year.
Yeah.
Every year, affects every year.
Yeah.
Going forward.
right.
Well,
And then, of course, as you know, and good news, this is for the public's information, we have budget hearings quarterly is what we'd like to do, but at the mid-year, we look and make sure we have money in the right accounts. And make sure if we're running hot or cold, that I'm moving the money around the best way we can to efficiently manage the money for the county.
Well, the problem is the Denver metro area pays a lot for cops. So they suck cops from Colorado Springs and Fountain up there. And then Colorado Springs and Fountain take them out of Canyon City, just lost a bunch of guys.
Didn't they?
And so there's just kind of a constant flow. So it's hard to be competitive in there.
Right, that's a good point there too, and then I think the requirement to live here in the county is a good one too, if they can, and then most of them do it from the.
Most of them do. In fact, right now, I believe 3 don't. Well, actually 4. One lives just on the Fremont side of Oak Creek. One lives on the Fremont side in Wetmore. And one lives in Canyon City and Pueblo, but everyone else lives up here, owns a house up here.
Yeah. Okay, and so what are you proposing?
So I rode with Vern was just here a second ago, and so I provided him a spreadsheet.
Got it?
Of who got what raise and what the total,
Okay, good.
net take would be.
Okay. The other discussion. I'll move that we approve that with the understanding that
It's
as stated, it's
budget.
budgeted neutral, and it's that way until we adjust it in budget meetings in the future or not.
They're in budget review.
Yeah. Okay. And it would be effective when?
The 1st of August.
Yeah, I move we approve the request. A second. Also. Okay, and Vernon has all the data.
Yep.
Any comments from the public?
Have we checked with Vernon and or Bob as to whether August 1st creates a problem for payroll?
Bob's still here.
I thought Bob. I heard-
Ah,
Bob, are you out there?
Well, it's Vernon that needs to answer
Yeah,
that.
Vernon.
Okay.
He's over.
Okay.
Okay.
so does that cause a problem to make it effective 1 August for the pay raise? Because that would be hitting in the mid-month.
Yeah, the mid-month is very problematic. That's why we did the policy so that all pay raises go into effect the 16th.
Okay, that's
So that we can move forward after the pay is, pay for the previous pay period is calculated.
Covered up, okay, whatever works.
So it'll be the 16th.
Yep, 16th.
Okay,
So you need to amend your motion.
right.
Instead of effective 1 August, I will amend the motion to be the 16th of August.
I'll second.
Okay, amendment. We'll vote on, we're gonna have to vote on the change or just the things.
Shouldn't be.
Okay, then, any
So-
other comments?
So how many officers have we lost because we didn't pay them? I don't know. I don't know, Nora was a recent one. I don't know if you met her. And then the one before her was,
There are 3, I thought, but
several.
yeah.
The one benefit of having them own a house here is they're more likely to stay, and she was commuting in.
One I recall was she trained them and she took off after being trained up.
Yeah.
She wasn't here very long.
She got snatched away. Okay, any other comments? Jim?
Yeah, by moving the salaries for the 2, deputies you're down in the pay raises, that means you can't replace deputies you're down. So become more competitive, became higher.
But he makes, and this is a good argument too, and people don't understand because we don't talk about it, but the quality of the hiree is different too, so. The people that are staying that have the houses want to stay and they are very quality. You mentioned your strangers from Texas,
We
whatever.
have a 30-year Texas Ranger there, a 30-year Phoenix cop, a 25-year Houston PD sergeant who worked numerous hurricanes and was helping us on the fire.
Right.
So we've got very experienced crew, and in the past, we had always had people fresh out of police academy, they'd stay a year or two and then move up.
And I was also impressed during the fire, when the meetings we had and the actual interaction with county employees, the sheriff's deputies, the firefighters. There was no confusion. The posse was out there 24/7 for a long time. Some of them. So
First starter.
I think the camaraderie and the teamwork, I could see a difference in. Across everybody, not just the sheriff's department.
Right.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, I'll call for that vote. Hearing no more comments, all in favor of that motion to increase the pay raise as stated, say aye. Lucas,
No.
Paul, and aye. Okay. Okey-doke. And now, since you're in the hot seat. The next item up is consideration of the posse purchasing 2 used vehicle, 2 Tahoes. With donation money, so you might want to explain that one.
So the posse survives on donations and member contributions. And I had Vern here a second ago, they have $45,000 in their account. And so we would like to buy 2 used police Tahoes for 5,000 apiece. That would be used for posse. I mean, they're your cars, but on my side, you'd be
use.
assigned to posse only, not the deputies.
You might want to explain your fund.
In fact, I was gonna mention the posse donated 1,621 hours to the community this month. And 900 and some of that was to the fire, but each of those guys needed a police car to do that, not the personal car. And then they also supported the music festival and the rodeo. And so the music festival makes a donation to them, and I believe that the Salad Club does as well. They did a Beckworth Ranch thing, and I think they pay them. And so all that money goes into a fund, and we use that to buy their uniforms, their bulletproof vest. Half of that, we get half as a federal grant, and other assortment thing. But the fund has been growing, which I'm happy for.
Yeah. So
I've got one question, is that we've been having problems with the Tahoe with the deputies. Is that going to continue into these 2 vehicles?
I certainly hope not. The deputies are probably rougher on them than the posse, who are mainly just idling at intersection.
which is a good question. It's a good statement because I know it's hard to be careful when you're chasing somebody at 100 miles an hour, but do you have any other issues with deputies abusing the stuff at all? I don't, if
I would say for the most part, no. And then we did have a Tahoe, a Chevy pickup, and an Explorer damaged the night that they were doing the evacuation, or Wetmore racing up and down gravelly roads.
you have to get people out of there.
Yeah. No, I just knew there was issues with that.
Don't worry. Okay. Any other comments here?
Yeah. Keep it to before 2020s or 2019s, wherever the independent suspension are. That's the ones we're having problems with.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know what year these are?
24s.
yeah.
The ones that we're buying?
Oh, the ones we're buying, 19s, I believe.
So they might be they are either or, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an issue. It would be better otherwise. Why they upgrade?
The only other consideration is that we're adding to the fleet. That's insurance and all that.
They're 17s.
17s.
No, that'll be better. They
Yeah.
have the solid rear axle, so.
Yeah.
Here's the other ones we purchased from JP Trump.
Okay. Feel better.
And these particular ones come with the police lights and siren, but not the police radio. And we don't have extra radios, so they'll just have to use their walkie-talkie when they're using.
That's
those two.
okay.
Right.
Posse.
Okay.
And they seem to be where they are. I've been impressed with the reception on all the when we were working the fire. People worked. It worked.
Yeah. I was
And-
concerned.
However, 2 of those towers are in danger for this.
I know
They-
they almost melted, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion here? Anything out here? More
No,
comments?
I'm glad the year is good and
Okay.
the funding is taken care of.
No other comments. I'll call for that vote to approve the purchase of 2 used Tahoes with the donation money that the sheriff's office has stated.
I'll second.
Okay. So all in favor, say aye. Lucas.
Aye.
Paul.
Focus on.
Panda, aye. Thank you, Rich. Now on the next one, you're on the hook for is approval to apply for the COPS hiring grant. You might explain that
Yep.
acronym.
So that is a 3-year grant that pays for the school resource officer and a community service officer. And last year, the school resource officer was Kobe and the community resource officer is Megan Sabatino. And so the feds pay 75%, you pay 25% of one deputy, and the school pays 25% of the SRO. And so we're gonna apply for that grant, which is due a year from today. So we have a lot of
A lot of
time.
time to work it.
But all we're doing is renewing that for the next pack of 3 years.
Never heard of us getting ahead of it by a year.
Well, I want to, it's a
I'm
scramble.
sure that's real.
Yeah, you won't like what I have to say on the next one.
All right. Any comments, other comments about that?
No, so we would, so it'll be signed next year, and so Lucas would be the final signer using an online portal once we go through the process. And all it does is it pays their salary, doesn't pay for their police cars. It does pay for the SRO training. SRO has to take mandatory training and pays for that.
Okay. Okay, I'll move that we approve the application for that COPS grant. Second.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion here?
No.
Public? Anything online? Hearing none, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of approving the application for the COPS hiring grant, COPS. Say aye. Lucas.
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Paul.
Wilson.
Okay, thank you. Last but not least,
So I'll have Neil come up if you don't mind.
this is approval to apply for the Homeland Security Grant for fire mitigation.
So he handed out a packet there that has a paperclip on it, and he's identified several grants that our county would be eligible for to help on this and future fires. And some of those specifically would come out, your Office of Emergency Management would need to apply for those. However, when's the deadline on the next one?
One of them is August 15th, so if you want to put it. There's 8 grants to the state that have identified within research of these, and the federal is all gonna go through FEMA. The various types of grants going through FEMA on these, recovery, fire mitigation, and prevention. So there's a lot of grants out there. Takes a lot of time to research them and see if we're eligible, number one.
And how many pages are the instructions on some of these?
The Dole agreement is finished on 10 pages, just to see if we qualify.
And you did it twice, didn't you?
We have two ones going now. Pending.
So I would propose a good strategy would be to have the emergency manager apply for these. In the future, and we could get on a schedule where we'd know about it a year in advance. However, and he's done a heck of a job. I mean, he, by all the things, he started on Monday and he's gonna be buried.
So how do we find it? How come we're behind the 8 ball again, so everybody understands? He says it.
Well, one of the grants is due in just a couple weeks.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, each grant is
Yeah,
has a
different.
different due date, different purpose, different objectives, and that's it. The devil's in the details. Sheriff's heard me say it several times. You have to read through them to see if we can even apply for them. And that's when you go for it. That one is a mitigation or a recovery one on that one. That's what we have to move on quick if we want to go after that one.
Yeah, this would be some of the things the OEM will do.
He should be, but I would like to propose that maybe Neil help him. Or even take the lead on the one that's the first grant and still run it, just
It's a good
until your
idea.
guy gets up to speed on how to do these.
I like that idea.
It has to go, all the fire brigade has to go through the OEM anyway. Yeah. So.
Okay, so. Say.
So there's a technical thing called a SAM, and I believe that Caitlin is in charge of that. And so she would authorize, at some point, she needs to authorize Eric as a eligible user of these grants.
Right.
And then you go to, is it grants.gov?
Say grants.gov, then auto populates on SAM, so if you got grants.gov, that auto populates on just grants. So if you have a mistake on the first one, it's gonna be a mistake on the other two as well. We just recently ran into a situation like that. They're trying to identify the elected law enforcement official, then the elected official, that's a financial director.
Which is the chair.
Which would be-
And Lucas is already in there for
Right.
next year. He can be moved up.
Sure.
We need you to sign something
Sure.
online for.
Is, what's the amount? What are the amounts?
The
of
dollar
these?
amount.
The dollar amounts on them?
It's been-
Roughly, what's the magnitude?
They say like $1.2 million.
And then they choose how much they're gonna meter out.
Which I could say is the amount, but once again, remind, if we apply for $1 million, doesn't mean we get $1 million, that's a whole broad story.
But they give us kind of points, especially the local people, because they see we just had the second biggest disaster in state
Right,
history.
right, they know.
And
Match on it?
Some, and I talked to Vernon on one we talked about, I'll talk with him first, to see if we can match it. I'm sure he's gonna communicate with you on that.
Sure.
It depends on the grant,
Before we apply.
correct.
And so we would go through that approval later.
I just want to get it on your
So we
radar.
just wanna get it.
So once they propose it, we can yay or nay.
So we're approving the process to apply for a series of these mitigation.
Well, it is, but having Neil help Eric until Eric gets
In
up
the
to speed.
applications and the deadlines and.
The trend that I'm seeing right now, especially the federal grants, is they have me listed as a grant submitter. It does mean we're accepting it.
Right.
And it, buyback, like I know I've called you on Sunday, you know, sign a grant in a hurry, it's, you know, do it a certain day. That type of thing. So they're saying, it looks like they're trying to do away with that step.
Good.
So when we accept it, then you have to sign it. If we want.
That's the way it should be.
Right. It just limits the step.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, well then, I have a motion.
To have Neil help Eric do the grants.
But that's what, and do the process of.
Your oversight, you do the motion.
Okay, so I will move that we approve, the consideration of the, excuse me, to the process described to offer application for the Homeland Security Grant for the fire mitigation series of grants and the help that you would provide for that for the OEMs at the future, and to start now with the OEM getting involved.
Okay.
Okay,
It's your motion, I'll second.
all right. Any other discussion here?
So we just had an OEM that spent a hell of a lot of time on grants. And we hired an OEM to do OEM work. I don't want to overwhelm our new OEM with a bunch of bureaucracy. Especially since we are still responding to emergencies and disasters. So I want to be very, very careful about what kind of time this is gonna all of a sudden take from him. OEM works for the commissioners.
Right.
Period.
So, so in this process here, the actual involvement of him now would be dependent upon his time to be able to do it. And you need 2 weeks to do it.
But we're not doing the 2 week one, we're out further than that, correct?
Well, most of them are, but there's one that's due
now.
in 2 weeks.
You can mention that to him and then we'll see how it plays.
We have a meeting with Brad after this.
Just down. So that'd be dependent on his time.
So what I be drafting for, I didn't mess with it, is do the legwork for him and sign here, here's what's going on. Keep his time to a minimum, he's got his hands full right now.
Yeah.
Everybody understands that.
Yeah.
And this one is required to stair step through.
Okay. Any other comments, public comments? Jim?
I agree with Lucas. But on the other hand, the amount of money that's going to be needed, if we don't work both sides of this, I think we're gonna we'll find ourselves in a bigger problem. I appreciate what you're saying, Lucas, because it is all hands on deck, but if we don't get ahead of it, because there's so many people that are gonna need.
You can avoid another fire later.
I'm not sure where this county's, where the dust is gonna settle. I'm a little concerned about where we're really gonna be. And the destruction of us as a county financially.
One of the, if I may point out too, I think they're into the same direction. We have to make sure we're coordinating these, so you don't have 3 or 4 people applying for it, because you won't get it done.
Same.
The county has to work together,
That's right.
and that's part of the biggest problem we've seen in the past.
That's why the OEM ought to be coordinated, period.
And this
But in the
becomes-
future.
If it becomes a big burden and everything, and we do end up getting some monies, we, at that point, can vote it down.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have.
We have a stop gate, so.
Okay, any other comments? Jim?
I've done a question.
No, you don't.
No.
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
The burn area is like 106,000 acres. How many are actually in Custer County?
You know, yeah.
about half almost.
Yeah, I think someone said.
There's 9, wasn't it?
40.
You got a better handle.
I'm sorry, I don't have that exact number.
There's significant people on the other side and actually more cost on the roads and other things that they gotta get right.
I heard a little, it was less than half. I mean,
Well, first thought it was
yeah,
hardly anything, but that was way good.
At the beginning, it was, shoot at the beginning, it was 38.
All the guys, because on the public county side, there's none on our side, so every day is marching to the west.
Well, that'll teach us to have mountains in the county, huh?
Like I did tell them that all future roads have to be straight east west or north south.
Yeah. Like Manhattan.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments online? Okay. All right, all in favor of approving the motion to apply for the Homeland Security grant for fire mitigation grants as stated, say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kenda, aye. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You got time to get out of here now, Rich.
Appreciate it.
If I may, gentlemen. We've got an emergency.
Okay, let's take a quick break here. We'll continue. Okay, we're back in session after the break. continue with the agenda, and the agenda is next online would be resolution 2636.
No, lot
Wait,
line.
lot line, I'm sorry, we've got to go back up. Lot line adjustment and replat.
Miss Dillon,
Elena,
Miss Yellow Card.
right. Yeah, you did yeoman's work too, everything. Everybody was overwhelmed. Okay, Elena, you got it.
Okay, so we have a request for a lot line adjustment for Daniel Martin. He is located at 795 County Road 329. He is just, come stand up. So he's just taking, and moving the line, this line over to here. It's just 300 feet, I think that's what he said, 300 feet.
Why don't you state the road that it's right next to, so everybody can hear it? The one that's county road.
Rosita
one.
Road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
County
That's
Road.
Rosita.
I know it is, that's been one.
So he's just moving it 300 feet over to here. And the reason why he's doing is that so he can have two buildable lots. Right now, lot one is not buildable. So he's just moving that lot line, so he'll have two buildable lots.
Meets the zoning and the water.
So his house and well are on lot two. But if he moves that over, then lot one will be a buildable and everything will be together. So it's just 300 feet.
Yeah,
And he's not making any undersized lots or anything by doing this, not creating any undersized lots.
What's your recommendation?
No one let him do
Yeah.
it, you know, what I mean, he's just moving it 300 feet.
I've
So
talked to him. He wants to make it more parallel with the entrance to that, that's Eagles, Springs Ranch entrance right there. Is
Right.
one of the reasons he wants to marry up with that fence line.
And, you know, he did make sure that all of the easements and everything were put on the new Mylar and everything that would be recorded.
On the house from lot one. Is he giving the line to the house?
Yeah, yeah.
That's all. Yeah, I love it.
He had a choice.
Real nice thing. I got it.
And he's been very patient. He did this a while ago, like over a month ago, but we just
You got a
were too
motion?
busy and couldn't get it in.
I'll
So
make a motion, we accept the lot line adjustment for, what's his name?
Daniel Martin.
Yes, Mr. Martin. The line, property lines.
I'll second it. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve this variance as presented by Delana. So any any discussion?
They won't be trying.
Any discussion out here? Anything online? Well, then I'll call for that vote. All in favor of approving the variances presented, say aye. Lucas.
Aye.
Kanda, aye.
Vogel on. Yeah, he's been really patient.
Leave the Mylar for you though. Okay.
You got a pen to sign it with?
No.
I got.
No.
But we need a,
We need-
we need a permanent mark.
Can you stop by my office and sign it?
Yeah, take it back with.
And.
Okay, next up. Consideration of internal posting for the road boss.
No.
Wait a minute,
One up.
appointment of, the appointment of the interim road boss. So the interim, I move that we approve appointing Scott Camper as the interim road boss.
I'll second that at the going rate of road boss pay at $74,662.
Yeah, that's good, bad then.
I missed that. That was outside.
I move that we approve the interim road boss at this wage as stated 74,000 and whatever the rest was the current rate for the road boss.
Okay, current rate of what it was.
Yes,
Correct. Okay, understood.
okay. I moved that. He seconded.
Yep.
Any other discussion here? Any more comments? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote on that of appointing the interim road boss as Scott Camper at the current rate for the road boss. All in favor, say aye. Lucas.
Aye.
Paul.
Hold on.
Kenda, aye.
Kelly can go shopping.
Now let's consider the internal posting of the road boss. This is a 10-day requirement. You want to state what the process is, Bob?
So Colorado's equal pay for equal work acts mandates. Anytime you do, we should consider the recruitment as well.
Yeah.
Or a promotion, then must be posted. And for a minimum of 10 days, it can be internal, external, but it has to be posted for at least 10 days, and you can't do it as open till filled. You must have a end date in the posting.
So that posting date would be?
Well, if I posted today, it'd be 10 days from today.
The date is? Oh, I don't have a calendar.
I don't have a calendar in front of me, it'd be 10 days from today.
Be technically Saturday the 8th, so really probably
Monday.
Monday, yeah. And we can determine if we want an internal, external, and in this case, you're looking at an internal posting, which meets the requirements for everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was the initial posting.
right, it'd be internal. Then depending on what happens from that, you can determine if you want to repost it or post it external, and again, internals, you have options.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to post the road boss position internally for 10 days.
I'll second.
Ending Monday that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday the 10th.
Yeah. Okay.
I see.
You second it? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion here?
Put it as an agenda item for the 12th, Caitlin, please.
Yeah.
Very good.
All comments out here? Jim?
When you're saying internally, does that mean the folks that are working there now would be able to apply?
Anybody in the county?
Anybody that works for the
Any
county.
Any employee in the county?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cause that job really requires some knowledge and experience.
That's right.
And if you're not familiar with what's going on
That
here,
is true.
you're gonna cripple this county.
That's why we posted it internal. I don't know. Any other comments? Okay, none online. Hearing none, I'll call for that vote. Let's all in favor of approving the interim posting, the interim for the road boss for 10 days ending the 10th of August, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Good, got that out of the way. Consideration of the job description and posting for GIS technician, Lucas.
So this position is both a person who takes the lot line adjustments, changes the address for the assessor, puts that in our systems, and then also updates our GIS for things like E911. 911 is going, the state's got a plan to put every county kind of on the same platform in the next 2 years. They don't really have an end date for us, but the next 2 years, with as busy as John has been, revitalizing our own IT infrastructure, we have fallen behind on the mapping part of it, some of the address changes, and definitely the GIS. So we are definitely behind, and Fremont is got their own GIS authority, so they're pretty advanced. So Freecom, who dives into that system to take 911 calls, Fremont's is almost looking at different, not maps, but different information, or more clarified information, more clear, concise than when they look at Custer counties. So we need to bring Custer County up and kind of be on at least close to the same page as what Fremont is. Keith Berry with their GIS service has taken care of our ambulance borders, our EMS borders, our patrol borders, our sheriff's department borders, and our fire department borders. So that's in tune, but now we need to get all the addresses up to par. So if I call the ambulance, it comes right directly to my driveway and not 300 yards off, and then wonder, well, whose house is who? Because I might not have the green sign out, or I might not have it posted on my door. So,
And Google Maps isn't up to date either all the time.
Yeah.
So you end up in the whirlwind.
correct. So this is to help all of our citizens out by being correct, getting our lot lines all in place. So somebody goes, wait a minute, am I paying double on this? Because I used to have 2 lots and I made it 1 lot, and why am I, so it's bringing our maps up to date to match what the public has paid for and done, and through planning and zoning and the assessor, so.
Also, the fire highlighted it also because you can't tell today, if you go out there, you can't tell one lot from another. Foundations are gone, there's there's just chimneys sticking on them. And we found that the lots were qualifying in some cases.
There's not even address markers readable.
Okay, that's the issue. Got a motion?
I'll move to accept or approve the job description and the posting for GIS technician externally for at least 30 days.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Comment that I have is, is John working with the TIS guys? He's got some help, doesn't he, on some other ways that he.
So he's in, so I was on the same call with him yesterday with Fremont's GIS authority. And we're talking about this. We're not as in bad a shape as Chaffee County is right now.
Yeah.
But due to the work that Vernon did a long time ago in the past, but along with our IT infrastructure and keeping John focused on that and all of the new technology that's out there and the increased use of technology, we really need John to focus on that and making sure that along with our IT subcontractor, that we are staying on top of those cybersecurity risks. And then we need this guy or this person, this position to take care of our.
And the person is what kind of salary range we got?
For the GIS technician, it'd be 65,187 to a top of 84,494, which is where that same range is where John's at. Right?
And so, and this would be full-time.
Full-time, yeah.
And then
Benefits
eligible. And I know there's a lot more work because John can't keep up with the phone call,
Right.
He still has a lot of other things he does, communication. Okay, so
94,494. Full-time. Benefits eligible.
okay, so you got a range you want to bring him in on?
Yeah, that range.
I don't think you want to make.
No, you got it. That's the range to consider.
Yeah,
That's the range to consider.
yeah.
Okay,
Then the range would be depending on the person.
right.
Right.
But then the
And this
offer,
person-
the offer would depend
Right.
on the person.
And this person will work for John.
Right.
I didn't want another salary position underneath the commissioners.
No.
Somebody that'll daily monitor.
It's another office that needs a director.
Yeah.
Okay. Been moved and seconded, and therefore, any other comments, anything out here, Jim?
Do we have a surveyor, county surveyor anymore?
We have a position, we don't have one hired.
Or selected, or even one that's running. I've heard somebody that might be interested, but they haven't called me yet, so.
The amount of money for a surveyor in the past has been $2,500 a month, and they get called in once in a while. We were lucky in the past that Kit Shy did it, and he did it a lot on his own.
So how is the surveyor gonna be involved in some of this stuff? We got somebody on the computer, is there somebody gonna be on the
We
ground?
have a couple of people who we hire when they're needed to do it, yes.
So the surveyor for the county, from my understanding, just signs off on the plats when somebody does a new subdivision. That's my understanding of what the county surveyor does, is just approve
Verify.
the subdivision plats that are, this is what Lucas F subdivision X wants to do, and the surveyor signs off on it.
And then the landowners are accountable when they buy a place to have it done when they're going through the process of the purchase, if they want.
So we're just catching up on something here, because where is the overload coming from, is what I don't understand.
So the overload is coming from that we didn't stay caught up with it. We didn't just stay caught up with it. So once Vernon got into the finance stuff of it, he didn't have time for the GIS part of it. Chris Bryson at that time was doing the assessor's mapping side of it.
Okay.
So,
Sorry for interrupting.
No,
That's
the question's good. Any other comments? Vernon, you want to make a statement?
Surveyors are not paid $2,500 a month.
No, I know they're not.
$250 a month.
Right, that's right.
So just.
I didn't mean a month, that's
This is
right.
not-
It was 2,500, it was 2,500 for the year. Well, it's done. Thanks for correcting it. Pretty fine.
Well, that's why I thought he would be a more affordable link to
Right.
this, because they have a lot of that.
And so,
What is is it GIS you're talking about?
yeah.
yeah,
What does that stand for?
Geographical Information Systems.
Yes.
So that's kind of what a surveyor does, huh?
that's exactly right.
Oh, I see.
And in fact, we've had to hire a surveyor to do the airport survey recently when we got things organized. So that had to come out of the budget.
Global information system.
Right, global. All right, any other comments online? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of approving the consideration of hiring and the job description and posting of a GIS technician, say aye. Paul?
Aye.
And aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Okay, very good. Next up, consideration of the job description and posting of a landfill equipment operator. Paul?
The need for an operator down at the landfill is. Right now, if we have one person step aside, sick or whatever, we just have enough people to operate. And this would put a person down there that is a qualified operator and not have to learn how to operate equipment.
Which equipment?
It would be, well, the equipment they have down there, they have a compactor. Is one that actually breaks down and compacts the actual pit itself. We have a scraper down there that actually cuts the time by about 3/4 with the scraper instead of using a loader. And then there's a loader, and then there's also
Truck.
there's a truck down there for moving snow and everything. So an operator takes care of all those needs. There's also a grader there for patching roads. So, and so it would just add the professionalism to the land
Safety. Okay. And we got what's the pay range on that?
That's I don't know, is that in-
$18.98 an hour to $27.51 an hour.
I didn't see that. Is that on your book?
I did not put it on the
It's
job.
not there, so-
It won't be on the job descriptions.
Okay, I move we hire or approve the like it states it, creation and posting of the description and posting for the landfill equipment operator.
I'll second that.
Okay, more discussion.
No, this person will also fill in recycling as well. So it's across the board if they're on that facility, that on that site. Also realizing that if in an emergency or if road and bridge needed to use these people, they're multi-purposed and that we could use them in a pinch if we needed to. So.
Okay, I'll make another comment on that too. It also positions us in my mind to become a waste management directorate out there. Basically, you got recycling and the landfill itself. It could, and the more we get, the bigger that happens. The need for somebody being on the administration of it all full time is a big deal.
Yeah, I've had.
And that's in the future, possibly merging the two.
Just because one person was sick, I had to go out there a couple of times and actually fill in for someone they could go take care of the landfill, and I was the one taking the cash and taking care of that.
You left the box safe, didn't you?
Yep. So anyway, it's just, that would add to the professionalism out there.
Okay.
Did you guys, was there a vacancy recently?
Yeah.
Or somebody got terminated?
Somebody did what?
There was a separation, yeah,
They just quit.
separation
There was a
of
vacancy.
employment.
Yeah, basically. Okay,
So this is gonna help fill that vacancy.
we've already filled it.
Well, you already filled that.
That's been filled, but
This is to add another body out there that's needed for the equipment. There's a lot to
So we're
do.
gonna get a whole nother person.
right, it's not really another person, they'll still stay the same staff members.
Correct.
Cause it's recycling and other.
Okay.
So this is just the making differentiation and defining the people more clearly.
And it's neutral in particular because of the next
Next item.
agenda item.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim,
Yeah, just to clarify, I vaguely remember either at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, I'm talking calendar and fiscal, there was a resolution for a hiring freeze. I assume that has been rescinded.
The hiring freeze was for everything unless it came before the board. So a director out there couldn't just hire somebody, go to Robert, and hire somebody without us even knowing about it.
it was a
what the hiring
process
freeze was.
change that was required, cause that.
And if I recall correctly, it wasn't necessarily a hiring freeze. If there was a vacancy someone could hire at the same rate, it was a freeze on creating new positions or
Yeah.
raises that weren't
They
authorized.
weren't authorized by the.
Without going through,
Right.
so we could get an accounting of what's in and what's coming out. And get not.
Well,
prove that
So for instance,
all
there was a freeze for the vacancy,
Hiring freeze at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And the level of explanation was not provided at the time.
Right,
To
that's,
make it totally.
I remember that statement.
So basically, the board took over the authority to hire for the departments.
no.
No,
No.
we took over making sure they ran it through to make sure that.
Budget.
If say the child support enforcement technician at the Department of Human Services, that person were to move on. Then Vicky White, the director, could hire someone to take her place.
Is it,
Without the board's approval, because that's a position that already exists and doesn't require any changes in the budget.
Got it.
Yeah,
Now I get
you
it.
couldn't create something on your own that's outside that budget and ask for more money later.
Correct.
Just put some structure into the process. Okay, good question. Any other comments? Anything online? I'll call for that vote. All in favor of the consideration and creation, posting the description of the landfill equipment operator. Say aye. Lucas.
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Paul. Okay. Next is the consideration of the creation and posting of a solid waste director position by combining the landfill director and recycling supervisor into one position. Take it off there, Lucas.
I'll make the motion to create and post the solid waste director position into one position, combining them into one position and post that internally for 10 days.
I'll second. Okay, and that's what we were referring to. We've got a waste management plant out there that does recycling and landfill.
This is something I've wanted to do for a couple of years now, because it didn't make sense to have recycling and landfill on the same piece of property, 100 yards from each other. with two different directors. So
Getting in each other's way.
this will put it under one director and they can move back and forth as needed to do what we need to do out there. So,
Reason it came up is for history's sake is because it was a separate corporation that came up and worked raising the money to build that, and then it was established separately, and then it was combined again with the county. So this makes it
On the
official,
recycling side,
just the recycling.
and Bob will need to create a job description for this position.
Yeah, just take the job descriptions for both of those. Combine them.
And you gotta add the
The point
administrative.
is, the board is gonna have to approve a job description.
Yes.
Yeah, we still haven't
Yeah, that'll have to be done.
combined it, and it's not just simply combine the two, because now that guy, the
Yes.
administrator, it's a bigger deal.
Right.
Okay,
Make it.
any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote on that. All in favor of consideration and creation of the solid waste management director position by combining the landfill director and the recycling supervisor into one position. Say aye, Paul.
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Paul, Lucas.
Aye.
Okay. Now Vernon can come in, right? You're done.
Yeah, yes, let's
Go make it so.
Use the whole.
Here we got a quick couple budget resolutions, you'll see. Thank you, Vernon. So the first one up is the resolution 2636 budget amendment for unforeseen contingencies, and I'll move that we adopt 2636 budget amendment for unforeseen contingencies.
Also.
Okay, any discussion here? Explain this.
So this budget amendment basically makes funds available for us to transfer from the contingency fund. No money was budgeted there in the budgeting process, so we're putting money there and making it available. There is a considerable amount of money in the contingency fund that we have available, but this makes it ready to move to someplace where we could use it.
Right.
Very good.
So right now, there's roughly $445,000 in the contingency fund.
And just a reminder, in the past, we've had people that have tried to keep reserves, like in Road and Bridge separately and other places. And the requirement actually is no county can overrun their budget. We can't overspend it. And some emerge, you can't maintain a $1 billion contingency fund on a budget that can't support more than what we got. So anything bigger than this would be like the fire as it's created today. We're not, we're dependent on other funds going in an emergency disaster.
So, couple of points there. We budgeted $10,000 in the emergency management fund for specific instances like that. We have reached that limit. This is the first of two budget amendments to get that money backfilled into there. Secondly, because of the nature of this fire, we're looking at multiple funding sources from the feds, the states. So it's an interesting game. We're documenting everything to make certain that we can get either refunded or our matches, all of our salaries and whatnot. This will help us on the day-to-day operations that we're having to fund on our own dime.
Right, and there are those, and then the other ones that Vernon is the key on, and that's all the stuff in coordination with the OEM to fill out the forms 213, 214, to submit it to the Fed and the state and all that for the fire expenses we've incurred and the OEM costs that have been involved with us.
And I'm working closely with the FMAG and the DHSCM people to make certain they get all of everybody wants the same information, they just want it a little bit differently.
Different forms.
So we're compiling the information and then filtering it into the formats that they want to see.
And your wages are also included in this.
All salary and personnel, anything overtime, and we will never get reimbursed for those, but even the elected officials that have been putting time in, we'll never get reimbursed for them, but they do go towards our match. Yeah.
Right.
We've got matches and we've got reimbursements, and we'd like to hit the match first before we talk it, because that way we don't owe money.
We don't owe any.
Yes.
Yeah, we pointed this out, neat grant reimbursement of 25% on our point. If it's a $3 million bill, we can't afford the man.
That's true. That's true.
Except your wages are,
There's
worth $1 million itself.
There's three funding sources and they each have that 25%. So that actually lowers our amount. Plus then they're going to prorate the amount of fire on the county, on the Custer County side versus the Pueblo County side. So that it changes. 25% is the umbrella, but it drills
More in
down
different
after
county.
that. Yes.
Right now, all we need to consider is that we are on the hook for it all until they come through.
They gotta
and decide what
make
they're
it
gonna
real.
give us.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's very true because the federal government is denying a lot of
Yeah.
requests.
Because
So the FEMA and the federal government are being very, yes.
when they're betting on the come,
Yeah.
and that may not happen.
Very
So
picky in what they're choosing.
if it doesn't, we'll cross that bridge. Okay, any other discussion?
Wow, that got off topic. I apologize.
Because it hits these other. Okay, I call for that vote on the adoption of 2630. Oh, I'm sorry. Comment.
This is a semantic question, I guess, because I'm very confused. Apparently, there's a contingency fund of 400 and some odd thousand in it. And then there's another fund for unforeseen contingency.
So let me clarify.
Kind of the same thing.
No,
Different.
I mean, is one a financial thing and one just
Nope.
semantics?
and I apologize, I should have been clear on that. Our contingency fund is the 30 fund. It was created by the commissioners many years ago as a literal act of God.
Like a fire.
Like now.
Fires, floods, that type of thing. It's a
Snow
fund
Which are
where we,
unforeseen.
right, unforeseen.
So let's back up a little further. The
Okay.
voters voted on an emergency on a
Having
a contingency fund.
Yes.
And that mill levy went off in around 18, something like that. 2018, 2019, they just rolled it up into general fund. So there's been no extra money going into this directly from tax collections. What we did about a year and a half ago is we took about $400,000 roughly from LATCF, the last of the COVID money, and put it in there for events such as this.
Right.
So that we had something to draw from. So, sorry to interrupt.
And then our.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess I don't understand the unforeseen contingency fund.
Okay, so within the contingency, there is an expense line that is called unforeseen contingency. So it's just a label that we put onto the code to say,
That's what I'm getting at.
right.
It's a financial thing,
Right.
not a.
So then in our next budget amendment, we will then move that money from unforeseen contingencies because they would be unforeseen. Now we're going to move it to support for emergencies because now we know what it is. We're going to move it to the 60 funds to help support the emergency operations there. So,
And. Never mind. Never mind.
And in our,
It sounds like you've added a couple of steps on here.
I haven't added any steps. This is what should be done. And
So what we didn't do is we didn't budget in our budget process last year that we were gonna put any money to pull out of the contingency fund. So the first thing we have to do is budget it. So we're gonna budget that we're gonna spend $30,000 out of this. That's what this first resolution does. So we have to budget it. We have to make it a budget.
make it available.
Budgeted item to make it available.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, it's a post-budget item.
Yeah, because we didn't budget this last year when we did the budget and adopted it.
Why would you budget for unforeseen contingency?
Right. We hope that we never have one, but
Exactly. And now the mechanism is
Now we
to
go
go from the big contingency fund to various subdivision funds.
That way it's a clear track. The auditors can chase it. Nobody can argue that we're not taking care and being, making sure that everything balances at the end of the year.
Clear as mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
first one's done.
we're just about, we haven't voted yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So any other comments online? None here. Hearing no more comments and then call for that vote. All in favor of adopting resolution 2636? As we stated. say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Okay, move on.
Very good.
This is the resolution for adopting 2637, the budget amendment for emergency services fund.
So this amendment will move the money from the contingency fund to the emergency services fund so that we can accurately track it on all the expenses that we've been incurring on this fire. So this is the account code specifically set up for that. It was originally budgeted for $10,000, which we've burned through, and this will backfill it for continued operations, recovery, all of that.
What's the total?
$30,000.
And how did you pick that?
Based off of our weekly costs, we're averaging, well, at this point in time, we've got 4 weeks tallied. We spent $150,000. A lot of that's in salaries, and so just looking at the amount of things like food supplies, fuel, all of that. That's what we're going to be basically using as we drive back and forth as we take care of the people of San Isabel area.
Is it none?
We may have to do this again, depending on if operations increase, if they ramp back up. I believe that this will be enough, but we may have to do it again.
We don't know the timeframe.
Yeah, we just
Kind of
can't.
hard to go and add.
I mean, if it gets hot and the winds kick up, we're going to look at another.
Or the floods get worse.
No, that too.
Yeah.
That too.
Okay. All right, I move that we adopt resolution 2637. Amended for the emergency services fund as stated.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. On any other points here? Public comments? Okay, all in favor, or I'll call for that vote. All in favor of adopting resolution 2637, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Vogelsong. Okay. Last one, resolution 2638. It's a budget amendment for the coroner scholarship fund. Go ahead.
So the coroner conducted a community drive, a coroner's ball, where he collected funds that were to be assigned to different students as a scholarship for their college tuition and college expenses. And I believe 20,000 and some change was collected. This budget amendment authorizes the expense of $15,000. There's been 3 students awarded $5,000 apiece. And it goes into that $15,000 is moved from his revenue that he's collected into the community outreach line and authorizing those expenditures that we're looking at today.
Very good.
Okay. Any other comments? Because you got. Oh, no. Okay, so I'll make the motion. I move that we adopt 2638 amendment to the coroner's scholarship fund is outlined.
I'll second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, all in favor of adopting 2638, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Paul? Therefore. Done, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, $1 Million Man. Appreciate it. Okay, we're at the bottom of the schedule here. Any additional comments, items of business. Then you've got the written word.
Let's do the public comment first.
That's what I was gonna do that. I was gonna pull it up. Okay, any public comments? Back here.
Okay, cool. Shell's agent. It's here last time. Terrible timing, I know, about this nuisance property on Gibbs Drive, but we're kind of at a point where I feel like you've made attempts to let them make it right, and they haven't.
Correct.
So I'm curious as to what we can do.
It's kind of turned
been referred to both myself and the sheriff for action as of this morning.
Okay, good. And I do know that you guys, the county is facing a lot of, budget constraints. And I know that, it had been mentioned before that there would be costs associated. I don't know legally if there's any way that I can help, with covering costs of some of that mitigation.
Any
which is-
person can donate money to the county for.
Can I do that specifically for that
Yes,
purpose?
sure.
And then I could,
Got to earmark it and you get a tax, you can deduct it on your tax.
or, well, the other thing too is that, I mean, could I then put a lien on their property on behalf
No.
of?
I don't think so. The county can.
Right,
And part of the issue though is how that would work if the county got repaid. I don't know whether the county could
reimburse,
reimburse
yeah,
I don't
that
think.
situation.
okay,
I think that would be a very hard thing to do.
okay, all right, if it's
You
complicated.
just saw
it's
our
complicated.
market was to move $30,000 into 2 different counties.
Yeah, exactly, I was just wondering if there was a legal way to do that, okay, because I do know that you guys are facing
I'll
some
keep it,
unusual challenges.
it's got to meet audit requirements.
Right, of course, of course. All right, sounds good. So what is the time frame then?
I can't tell you because quite frankly, I said it's been referred to myself and the sheriff. The step we were going to take would involve the sheriff, not so much me, more the sheriff.
Okay,
And so it's really up to him in terms of his timeline, and as you have noted, the timing right now is not perfect for the sheriff's office.
for anybody, really, yeah, no, I get it.
But it
I
is
get
an
it.
issue and we know it.
It is
Yeah.
an issue, and actually, one thing that I did want to point out though is, with all this trash that's been strewn about, with a lot of cabs. And I was witness last week to cabs attempting to eat said garbage.
Hmm.
So, it's one of those things where it's like the timing's every front, it's not just financial or bandwidth. We've got young livestock.
Yeah.
That don't know that plastic bags and human clothing are not edible. So we're starting, so.
Yeah. No, I think the county has from the beginning of this understood that this is not just a messy property issue, but it's more a public health issue, and we treated it as such.
Okay.
We depended on the word of the owner that it would be resolved, and as you noted, it hasn't. So
There's
we've got to go down the next road.
zero change,
It's changed.
other than more trash on my property.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Cause you
well,
live to the northeast. And the prevailing.
Prevailing winds are right on.
Yeah, prevailing winds, exactly, and exactly where all of that trash flows. And it's not just myself, it is I have a neighbor to the north who's been cleaning up his property regularly, and he's a Vietnam vet, and poor guy. I'm just like, you need to rest, man, you're in your 70s, like, so that type of thing, so. Yeah, I appreciate the efforts though, so I'm hoping to see something
It's
soonish.
just a process.
Yeah. Cause I'm getting to the point where I feel like I need to trespass on the property, at least clean up the garbage so that we're not seeing it move. But you
Don't
guys
give them an
trespassing.
excuse to come back on you.
What's that?
Just be patient. Don't give them an excuse to fight it.
Right.
I mean, true, right, exactly, but it is getting to a point where it's just like, it's every single time I'm in the house that I'm cleaning trash. So, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well,
Thank
to
you.
be fair, they are trespassing on your property.
Yeah.
There
Not
you
giving you
go.
legal advice, but they are, by allowing things from their property to blow onto your property, they are committing a
They
trespass.
committed it.
And theoretically, you have an action against them.
Yeah.
If you want
That's
that.
very good to know, actually.
Some way to
Okay.
let's see what happens before you spend money.
Right, exactly.
Sorry for your
Thank
trouble,
you.
the
I
time.
appreciate
that you
it.
have
Yes,
to
you've
do.
been very responsive and I appreciate that.
Jim, you had a comment.
Yeah, during the caucus, we had some resolutions, is that what they're called? All the things that were voted on unanimously.
Mhm.
You received all those? You guys have them in your possession?
I have what was offered at both caucus and assembly.
Was it given to the chairperson of the Republican Party?
I
Was it
would
officially,
assume so.
It's up
officially given
it's up to the GOP.
Yes, up to the.
You have them though?
I don't know.
I don't think I have official whatever they
Whatever they wanna
decided
say.
on.
So it's never really officially came to you.
Like a conclusion,
No. So, and you can bring them up, Jim, bring them in here.
And that's fine. I just wanna make sure.
Any citizen can bring something for us.
We're not following the process of what the voice of the people wanted.
That was the voice of,
Just getting
that was the
squawked.
voice of the GOP, and we haven't heard from them.
You are GOP and you're running the county, so that's kind of a strong voice. I mean, there's not three liberals up there, not that I know, of, but what I'm getting at here is that it feels like it's just been squashed. And those are very, very, very important things that I thought should be addressed.
Bring it up in the meeting, do it.
So if we can, if you guys could maybe publicize a meeting that would address those, because it's not just me wanting to know what happened.
we'd only do that after we received it.
We consider everything, Jim, and people bring things in here for us to consider or not that might be applicable to another meeting. That's the process, and Jim does it a lot, everybody does.
Any organization can present any proposal or suggestion or complaint. Any individual can present any proposal, suggestion, or complaint to the Board of County Commissioners. Whether the county commissioners choose to act or not act on those is up to the 3 county commissioners. But to be fair, the Republican Central Committee doesn't have any more official authority than the Sierra Club or.
Absolutely, I understand it.
I just want to make sure that's
Or the Democrat
Yeah,
Party.
I understand that very clearly, and there's 4 people right here.
Right, and we
I know we're on that
represent,
committee.
and we, remember, this is.
I know there's 4 people on that committee.
It doesn't matter.
No, I just wanna make sure that that's
We're
clear.
aware of it, but it hasn't been formally presented.
Okay,
And we are not obligated to take up anybody's suggestion. We're hired here as a representative republic to represent the people. And we try to do that, and we go beyond and above as much as we can to give everybody a voice. Most county don't do that. They have a set agenda and they vote on them and they're out of there.
yeah, I'm gonna get a call, but that's the other part of this is, can we put this on a meeting sometime, or can we discuss it as a BOCC meeting?
Bring it
Can we
in.
bring?
And we can,
I'm bringing it up right now.
only if we decide to pick it up. And what we do before we hit meet, every agenda is approved before it's put on. And we have ideas, other people bring things in, and if
Understood.
before we meet, we decide officially whether we're gonna allow these to be discussed on any given day
Okay,
before a meeting.
got it. So my other question is, do the 3 of you feel like those are important, or should they just be thrown in the trash?
At this point.
I don't know enough, but we gotta look at it and consider it.
Yeah,
We haven't even had a discussion over those as the CCRCC. We
Yeah.
haven't had a discussion there.
no,
We had a discussion we didn't
At
even
a
have a
caucus.
discussion at caucus. And we really didn't have a discussion at assembly. It was presented, but there wasn't a discussion
To decide
after,
about those and about
they're gonna
what
do.
this means and why are we doing this and how is this gonna affect this and what's the process going forward?
the next step.
that's the first step.
It seems like that is somewhere where we should discuss those resolutions
So you-
as the group of Republicans or whatever we wanna
Right.
call ourselves, before we bring it to the BOCC.
So how does that take place?
Go into the meeting, talk to Ann and get it on the agenda and
Okay,
discuss
so
it
it
in
goes
the,
nowhere.
Right,
That's
not
all I need.
necessarily.
Well, I
It's a-
do.
Well,
but there has to be a process.
Well, she was the chairperson that was gonna get it to you and get this thing scheduled.
Well, that's,
And it's been a
I
long
don't think
time,
it, but
so it's been trashed.
I don't
and
know,
it's
anything-
okay.
I don't know anything about it. I missed the last meeting, so, no, I didn't.
Was it, didn't have anything to do with last year.
I know.
It has to do with
But we
following.
can come up with anything.
And again, Ann Barthrock doesn't have any more authority to set things on the agenda than Jim does as the Democratic.
That's right.
Right,
It's a chairperson.
Yeah.
So you can devalue that as much as you'd like.
Well, that's my point. That's not devaluing.
No,
Jim's
we-
the chairman of the Democrat Party. If he has something that they want to bring in, he'll bring it in, or somebody else will.
yeah.
We listen to
He
everybody.
does a dang good job.
Well,
He does a good job.
okay.
Anyways, thank you guys. I appreciate what you're going
Yeah,
through
all you
here.
have to do is format a resolution, go to your commissioner, ask the commissioner to put it on an agenda.
And we'll
If they
decide.
agree, they'll put it on an agenda.
Right.
First, I gotta go through a discussion first with the GOP.
That's
We've
that's
already
true.
tried that.
Right.
So I know where it lays. That's all I needed to know.
Okay, thanks.
Needed it on the minutes. That's it. Thank you.
Great. Okay,
So I have a public comment to make, and I'd like to be able to make it without interruption.
go ahead.
I voted no on wages increases for the sheriff's deputies. And I'd like to explain my reason why I said no. I said no because none of the rest of our staff who've all worked pretty hard on this event are getting pay raises during this time. I voted no because we've got increased valuations and I would like to temporarily decrease our mill levies next year pretty greatly. But we can't do that if we're continuing to increase our costs. We have ranchers out there that are seeing 10 to 15% of the bales of hay than they normally see due to the drought. We serve those people that pay our wages across the board. I don't think we should have give pay raises at this point in time across the board to one department or another when we have people that are suffering their own pay decreases. Our businesses out there across the board are seeing 10 to 30% decrease in lodging. We've had several that have closed. We need to be thinking wholly at this. And I don't think we are. I think we have, anyway, my answer is no, and that's why I voted no.
Okay, thank you. Good, thank you. All right, do we have a?
May I say why I voted yay? Only because there was not an increase in budget. And only because he was using funds that he already has in his budget. Is the only reason that I voted yay on that vote. And if it had increased his budget at all, like we had done prior to this meeting, it would have been a nay. But we did not increase that amount, and he not justify it, but he said where he's gonna get the money to do so. And that's why I voted yay.
Okay, good.
Now I have a.
Now you got it. Okay, go ahead.
One, I wish Lucas would have mentioned that in the discussion period the first time. Although I do agree with him. And two, there's absolutely nothing wrong with going under budget by not giving raises when you have the money available.
Good.
So just because the budget doesn't go up, doesn't mean it would have been a more prudent option to let the budget go down. That's the only thing I have to say.
Okay, good. All along, right. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Okay, then we need to move into an executive session. So I move we go into executive session to do what? I don't have the
Determine positions and development of strategy for negotiations and instructing negotiators regarding pending litigation for 24-6-402-4E.
therefore, that's my motion.
There you go.
Got a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, up and we're running. Good. Okay, we're out of executive session. Time now is 11:17. The executive session has been concluded and the participants in the executive session were Dan Slater, attorney, Kelly Camper, clerk of the Custer County, Paul Vogelsong, commissioner, Bill Kanda, commissioner, and Lucas Epp, commissioner. For the record, if any person who participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into the executive session occurred during the executive session, or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record. Any comments? No. No. Okay, therefore, we'll move forward. And we're back in session. Got it, because we're still recording. Okay, because of that, there is no action, was advice that we got. I would move that we adjourn the meeting at 11:18. Adjourn.